This hour brought to you by GCNLife.com. Live younger, look younger, feel younger at GCNLife.com.
Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of biology, what is in the world of health, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing and regenerating system designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. We welcome your phone calls on the Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to start a longevity business, you can click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. For a one-time $30 fee, you can be in business for yourself. You can be a distributor. You can get your products at the wholesale price and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. Call 866-735-2470 or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. We've got a new product coming out here pretty soon. I think it's supposed to be this week, but probably next week. And also, we've got a special running on truthtreatments.com. If you purchase a trial size transdermal C serum, you'll get a free biomimetic mineral mist made with fulvic minerals, polyelectrolyte minerals, as well as hyaluronic acid and niacin. Helps our transdermal C serum spread, delivers active ingredients as well. Fulvic minerals, hyaluronic acid, niacin, vitamin C, vitamin A. All our Truth Treatment products are loaded with active ingredients, 100% active and functional only. No water, fillers, waxes, preservatives, fragrances, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want. Pharmacy-potent products without a prescription. Check them out at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side, friends. We've been talking about the nature of memes, mind viruses, ideas that are implanted into the culture by advertisers and public relations specialists, inoculated into the society by meme masters, meme magicians who shape the ideas of cultures, the ideas of society, who shape behaviors, who induce behaviors, usually not in the interest of the human beings that make up the culture and make up the society, unfortunately. Mass media, television, press, radio, internet functions as an ideal vector, an ideal spreading agent for inoculating individuals who then, if all goes to plan, will propagate these mind viruses even further. The word media is kind of interesting. It's actually a biological term that refers to the stuff that microbes live in. Media is the stuff between single units in a petri dish, for example, that allows each individual bacteria to interact as a whole. In a laboratory, when microbes, bacteria, and fungus are studied, they are allowed to proliferate in this goo, this mass, a connecting matrix that contains all the stuff that the bacteria or the fungus needs to interact with each other and to stay alive. The media is the stuff that allows the microbes to grow and to proliferate. So in biology, media encourages the growth and the proliferation and the livingness of individual entities. Likewise, mass media, press and internet and television and radio and print encourage growth and proliferation too, but not of microbes, not of bacteria, but of ideas. Mass media is to ideas what biological media is to microbes. It's a mechanism of communication, a mechanism of growth, and a mechanism for proliferation. And the simplest and the smallest and the most fundamental examples of biological entities whose prime directive is to proliferate through some kind of media is a virus. The proliferation media for viruses is people. People catch rhinovirus, a cold, and they spread it to each other, or HIV virus, or hepatitis viruses. These biological viruses, their only job is to spread through a type of media to individual vectors that will further spread through media or through each other. Viruses are nothing more than information that's designed, and this is a biological virus I'm talking about, is nothing more than information whose prime directive is to spread. A virus is literally one chemical wrapped in a protective shell, a special kind of chemical, an information chemical called DNA or RNA. Yes, that's all it is. That's all a virus is a little piece of either DNA or RNA, basically genetic information, wrapped in a protective shell. That is the most unbelievable, to me, that's the most unbelievable concept in all of biology, that you can have this little piece of information, this little piece of genetic information wrapped around in a protein shell, and its only job is to inject itself into an innocent cell, into an innocent nucleus, into an innocent genome. It injects itself into an innocent genome and then gets that genome to reproduce itself. And it does it with human cells, it does it with animal cells, it does it with plant cells, it does it with bacteria cells, it does it with yeast cells. Anything that's a cell can carry a virus. There's about 4,000 of these things. 4,000 that have been identified. There's probably a lot more, but 4,000 of them that have been identified. They are by far and away the most abundant entity on the planet. Every man, woman, and child on the planet, has thousands upon thousands of these viruses. There's thousands upon thousands, millions of these viruses for every man, woman, and child. Maybe hundreds of millions for every man, woman, and child on the planet. And these things are super, ridiculously tiny, 100,000 times smaller than an ant, on the order of 100,000 times smaller than an ant. They have one thing in common. All viruses, all biological viruses have one thing in common. All viruses have one thing in common. They cannot reproduce without a host. Their main job is to infect hosts, and turn the hosts into virus-making factories. That is a powerful, powerful idea, and that's why it's been applied to all of these different. It's like an archetypal idea that you have computer viruses that do the same thing as a biological virus. A computer virus's main job is to spread, and you have idea viruses. It's an incredible metaphor because it's archetypal. It happens on various levels. Its main job, the bottom line is its main job is to spread. Ideas are inherently viral. They spread. Ideas always spread. This is where you get the term mind virus. The idea of mind viruses, I first heard about the idea of mind viruses in the book Virus is the Mind. I read it in the 90s by Richard Brody. He says that a mind virus is a unit of cultural heredity, like a gene is a unit of biological heredity. A meme is a mind virus, like a gene is a biological, I don't want to say virus, but in a way, you could think of it like that because viruses are genes. Like a gene wants to spread, a meme wants to spread. In biology, the simplest unit of genetic material only, a gene with a little protein shell, it is called a virus, and it spreads virally. In memetics, memes, the smallest unit of memetics or memetic material is an idea. And this is a belief that's passed from person to person. The classic meme, the one we talk about in this program a lot, the one I really focus all my work on, is the meme of the medical model as God or the doctor as a deity. This is the classic meme / mind virus, and it has led to a medicalization and a doctoring of entire populations. It's a rare human being who's not interacting in at least a somewhat regular basis with the medical model. The process of the proliferation of the medical model as a meme or as a mind virus is what we call medicalization. Medicalization is a very important subject, and it's something that the only way we're going to protect ourselves from is how you protect yourself from any meme, by critical thinking. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back on the bright side right after this.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body Brain and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
If you're talking, they will hear you. Every single time.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you.
You can do it if you try.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, we're back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Lines open 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you'd like to purchase our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, so we've been talking about this idea of memes, this idea of mind viruses, this idea of ideas that propagate and proliferate without regard for the vectors or those entities that transmit the virus. Medicalization is a classic example of a meme, a mind virus. This idea that we have to be medicalized, we have to interact with the medical model for things that are just part of life. Medicalization is a term that refers to the process where basic human needs, basic human problems, basic human issues become defined by the pharmacomedical model as illnesses that need to be treated or that need to be prevented via medical means or drug means. It involves the definition of health in negative terms. It says that health is the absence of disease or absence of illness. It's characterized by various screenings and diagnostics. And by the way, the science of diagnostics, I always get a kick out of people who tell me, I can't diagnose. You're not allowed to diagnose. I get people write me letters saying, I know you're not allowed to diagnose. Listen, a diagnosis is irrelevant when it comes to being healthy or when it comes to not being healthy. A diagnosis is simply the naming of a bunch of symptoms, the classification of symptomology so that it can be controlled and modified and commoditized, made into a commodity. Diagnosis is irrelevant when it comes to being healthy. Diagnosis is an arbitrary nominalization or arbitrary naming of various symptoms. And so by officially making something a diagnosis, you make it medicalizable. Addiction is a classic example of a diagnosis of a disease, of a human action as a disease or as an illness that can become medicalized. Internet shopping disorder. That you can actually get a drug for internet shopping disorder. It's in the formulary. You'll probably get some Prozac or something along those lines for your internet shopping disorder. You can get your insurance to pay for therapy or medicine or whatever medicalization you need for your internet shopping disorder. All addictions are like that. Addictions have become medicalized. Menopause has become medicalized. Alcoholism is medicalized. ADD is medicalized. Post-traumatic stress disorder is medicalized. Anorexia, infertility, erectile dysfunction, childbirth. These are all things that are part of of our human beingness, part of human life, part of our cultural life that is now become medicalized. It's become something that we can get drugged for. We can get our insurance companies to pay for. And of course, when our insurance companies pay for something, we all pay for it. Medicalization leverages basic human fears of suffering. That's basically what it does. We get terrified, not of suffering, but of the idea of suffering. We're terrified of the idea of suffering and we'll do anything to prevent it. We're terrified of an idea of a heart attack, so we'll take a statin drug, regardless of whether the heart attack is caused, whether the statin drug will stop a heart attack or not. You know, when they tell you a statin drug helps you prevent heart attacks, they're talking about statistics. It reduces the likelihood of a heart attack. It doesn't reduce the cause of heart attacks. It doesn't eliminate the cause of heart attacks. It just reduces the risks of heart attacks. So we collapse these idea of risks with actual facts, with actual realities, because we're scared and we become we're convinced to do that by people who profit off of us. This is what medicalization is about. Medicalization exploits this kind of authority that doctors in the medical model or medical professionals have given themselves and inoculated into the society. Medical deification is a meme. So we think the doctor knows everything, and we're surprised when they make mistakes. Listen, I have a lot of friends who are doctors, and they're mostly, for the most part, they're really good people. They want to help, but that doesn't mean they're infallible. That doesn't mean we should be shocked when they do stupid things or make mistakes. They're not infallible, and they make mistakes. And the medical model is filled with opportunities to make mistakes because the medical model purports to be God. The representatives of the medical model purport to be gods when they're not. So, of course, mistakes are going to happen. They're taking decisions and making decisions like gods, but they're not. So mistakes are inevitable. And by the way, this whole idea of the deification of medicine, it's been going on for a long time. In fact, the deification of the medical model was first talked about, or at least one of the first places it was talked about was in the Declaration of Independence in the 18th century, when a guy named Benjamin Rush warned about deifying medicine or about what he called medical tyranny. He said that medical tyranny is one of the things that we have to really be concerned about. He said, quote, this is a quote from Benjamin Rush in 1787, "The Constitution of this republic should make special provision for medical freedom. To restrict the art of healing to one class will constitute the Bastille of medical science." Bastille is a jail. "All such laws are un-American and despotic. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover dictatorship." That is a secret dictatorship. This is what a meme is. This is what memes do. They create a secret dictatorship. The meme of the doctor as a god of medical infallibility has organized, it created itself into an undercover dictatorship, and Benjamin Rush talked about this. Continuing here. "It will force people who wish doctors and treatment of their own to submit to only what the dictating outfit offers. That is, if you don't follow the rules, you'll get kicked out, or if you don't follow the rules, you'll be in trouble." That's what's happening today. If doctors do not follow certain standards, they get kicked out of the medical club. They can't be doctors anymore, so they're compelled to follow the rules. And Benjamin Rush noticed this in 1787. Like all tyrannies, the medicalization of health, the medicalization of health care does not serve the individuals. All tyrannies serve the institution, not the individual. That's a classic definition of a tyranny. Tyranny is an institutionalized power structure that exists only for itself. It does not exist for the individuals that serve it or that it's made up of. And in order to free ourselves from from all tyrannies, we got to know what's happening. We got to be critical thinkers. That's what this all boils down to, is critical thinking. And I know I've talked about it a lot here, and I'm going to continue talking about it. To be a critical thinker is much more important than to know what vitamin to take. To know what vitamin to take, you can get that from a book or on the internet. But to be a critical thinker, you have to do it yourself. Critical thinking takes work, and the human brain doesn't like to critically think, and so we suffer because there are people who take advantage. There are institutions that take advantage of the hard work it takes to critically think, the resources, the mental resources, we'll say. And mental resources are really, really important to understand and to leverage. We got to work our mental muscles. Yes, we have mental muscles, but we never get taught really how to work our mental muscles. We get taught how to memorize facts, how to listen to authorities, how to follow orders, but we don't ever get taught how to work our mental muscles. We know how to move our attention around visually, like we can move our attention around from our television to our radio to our desks to our whatever, but we can't move our mental attention around. We don't learn to move our mental attention around. We don't learn to become facile, to have an ability, a facility of working with our mind muscle, our mental muscles. And that's what critical thinking is all about, and it's something that we could practice, and it's something we should practice. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back after this.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
Seismologists believe there's a good chance of some very strong aftershocks for several days or even weeks after an earthquake struck California on Thursday. Here's John Clemens with more.
That estimate came from Caltech scientist Dr. Lucy Jones concerning the Independence Day 6.4 magnitude quake that struck 25 miles northeast of the town of Ridgecrest, California.
And this is one of the higher risk areas because of all of these faults.
Dr. Jones tells us a 5.1 quake that struck the same area in 1982 triggered aftershocks for 6 months.
A 5.4 magnitude aftershock struck that area earlier today. The economy adding 224,000 jobs in June, according to the government. That follows a 75,000 job creation performance in May. This is USA Radio News.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-561-5716. That's 800-561-5716. Again, 800-561-5716.
Ben Fuchs is a registered pharmacist who has been using nutritional supplementation like medicines for decades, seeing tremendous health benefits. That's why he drinks Pollen Burst from Longevity's complete line of nutritional supplements.
Pollen Burst has got the B vitamins in there, and the B vitamins are so fascinating because most people are going to be deficient in the B vitamins because they're rapidly processed out of food. So if you're eating foods that are cooked, if you're eating foods that are frozen, if you're eating foods that are prepared in any way, you're going to be deficient in these B vitamins. And the B vitamins work on the parts of the body that move the fastest: the brain, the heart, the skin, and the digestive system. Those are the four systems that respond rapidly to the B vitamins.
To feel changes in your body's fast-moving systems, order Longevity's Pollen Burst by calling 877-551-1301. That's 877-551-1301, or on the web at InfoWarsTeam.com. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
Warning: if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, we're back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open for you. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you have a comment, success story you'd like to share, if you want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. We are on the air Monday through Friday on the bright side, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive page at brightsideben.com. You can purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And you can check out all our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, we'll get your calls here momentarily at 844-236-6010. This is from sugarscience.org. That's an interesting website, by the way, sugarscience.org. Is sugar making us sick? A team of scientists from the University of California in San Francisco believes that sugar is making us sick, and they're doing something about it. They've launched an initiative to bring information on food and drink and added sugar to the public by reviewing more than 8,000 scientific papers that show a, quote, strong link between the consumption of added sugar and chronic diseases, unquote. This is such a powerful idea. Sugar is the second point on the triangle of disease. It's intimately linked to the first point and the third point. And when I say sugar, I mean blood sugar or messed up blood sugar, dysglycemia. You don't have to be a diabetic. You don't have to be officially diagnosed to have diabetes or prediabetes to be dysglycemic. That simply means you're not handling your sugar correctly, and this happens from all the sugar we're eating. The human body did not evolve with a lot of sugar. All the sugar we're getting is a very recent phenomenon. It's about 150 to 200 years old, really. And especially the last 50 or 60 years. The human body is 200,000 years plus old. We simply did not evolve to handle all this sugar. It's the second point of the triangle of disease, and it's a major, major link between digestive issues and blood sugar issues, and stress issues. And while I talk about the triangle of disease as being three separate points, it's really one thing that goes wrong all at once: the digestive system, the blood sugar system, and the stress management system. They develop sequentially, but by the time we have a disease state, all three are happening all at once, and the linchpin is sugar. And this is so powerful because we have control over it. Last program, we were talking about an article I read that was really just kind of highlighted to me this nonsense, this mimetic nonsense that we buy into about our need for drugs. There was a story on, I forgot where I read, I think on CNN, about how people are going to Canada to get their insulin cheaper. And the story was all about how expensive insulin is and how people need their insulin and how they have to go to Canada to get their insulin. And pretty soon we're going to have Bernie Sanders and other politicians talking about free insulin and free drugs, or at least really cheap insulin and cheap drugs. And it misses the point that we have control over the disease process that causes us to need the drugs. And sugar is a classic example. Rest assured, behind every single chronic long-term degenerative disease you have, you will find an issue processing sugar. And the way you deal with an issue processing sugar is as simple as reducing your intake of sugar. It's as simple as that, folks. And when I say sugar, it's not just sugar, it's calories. Although sugar is the main source of calories. But any calories, all calories need to be reduced. Reduction of calories is a powerful, powerful lifestyle choice that we can all make to get healthy. And that's good news. Reduction of sugar, same thing. From NPR Shots, SHOTS, published on ProPublica, the myth of drug expiration dates. Hospitals and pharmacists are required to toss expired drugs, no matter how expensive or vital. Meanwhile, the FDA has long known that many remain safe and potent for years longer. You know what? Drugs are very, very simple molecules. For something to break down, it has to have a certain complexity. Foods break down because they're very, very complex. That's why foods go bad. Plants can go bad, or plant material can go bad, but drugs hardly ever go bad. They may weaken over the course of decades, but they're never going to go bad. In fact, the expiration date is a meaningless, when it comes to potency anyway, is a meaningless number. According to Girona and Cantrell, this is Roy Girona from the University of California, a researcher from the University of California, and Lee Cantrell, who helps run the California Poison Control System. The term expiration date is a misnomer. The dates on drug labels simply point to the date that the Food and Drug Administration and pharmaceutical companies guarantee their effectiveness, and it's typically 2 or 3 years. But the dates don't necessarily mean they're ineffective immediately after they expire. It's just that the drug companies don't have an incentive to keep testing the drugs. So they just put a date of 2 or 3 years. Drugs are good for a decade or more, decades after their expiration date. Experts estimate that squandering of drugs based on expiration dates eats up, to check this out, $765 billion a year. That's 25% of our healthcare costs. 25% of our healthcare costs, according to this article anyway, is spent squandering, throwing out, wasting, tossing out expensive prescription drugs. Never mind that the drugs shouldn't be expensive in the first place because they're just dirt cheap chemicals. Nonetheless, they cost the healthcare system a ridiculous amount of money. And this is just to highlight how crazy our healthcare spending is. We spend more money on healthcare in this country, and more money on drugs in this country, and more money on insurance in this country than any other country in the history of on the planet, in the history of the planet, and we're simultaneously the sickest culture. That alone should tell us that we are clearly doing something wrong, and that should be a red flag alert that we are operating under mimetic illusions, mind virus illusions, mind viruses. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number, and it is time to hit the phones. Let us go to Ria in Japan. What is up, Ria? How you doing?
Hi, Pharmacist Ben. How are you?
Hello, Ria in Japan. What's going on today?
Not much. Today I have a question about probiotics.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, when purchasing a probiotic, they usually come with a sentence where they say that probiotics should be kept over a certain temperature. Like it should be kept in high temperatures when buying them.
Yes, that's correct.
In that case, like for me, I try to buy my probiotics from the U.S. And in the summertime, when they're being delivered to Japan, I'm sure they're in climates where they're much.
Yeah, probiotics are very, very tricky. You raise some really interesting points. The heat is the enemy of probiotics. Usually you want them in the fridge, although there are some brands that claim that they protect the bacteria with a spore, with some kind of coating, so you don't have to necessarily keep them in the fridge. It's very tricky. Even the probiotic manufacturers don't understand everything there is to understand about probiotics, because you're dealing with a living thing.
But then some people say that if it would lose effect in that sort of temperature, it wouldn't actually be able to go past the stomach acid when going in.
No, temperature and acid those are two separate ideas. Okay? Temperature and acid are two separate ideas. Okay. But the point is, what you're making is that these things are fragile. Some of them are fragile to acid. Some of them are fragile to temperature, or most of them are going to be fragile to temperature, but they can protect them from acid. They can protect the bacteria from both acid and have these probiotics that go into the intestine that pass through the acid and go right to the intestine. They can coat them. They can also coat them to protect them from temperature instability. But it all depends on the brand. And your question is very well taken. Hang on. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll return right after this.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs knows the importance of proper digestion.
Make sure you take a look at the Ultimate Enzyme product. They're made with bile salts and fat digestion enzymes and protein digestive enzymes. And not only do the Ultimate Enzymes give you obvious benefits for digestion, but they can also help keep your blood flowing through your circulatory system. As most of you probably know by now, thick, sludgy, clotting blood is a serious risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Clearly, inappropriate and excessive blood clotting is a major health issue, and thick, sludgy blood is not just about heart health either. Sludgy blood can compromise oxygenation and nutrient delivery to all your cells and tissues and organs, and ultimately lead to almost any health issue you can name.
Concerned about proper digestion and heart health? Order Ultimate Enzymes by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470, or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are things many of us take for granted. But for many adults with disabilities who are elderly or have serious medical issues, dental care is simply unaffordable. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. DLN is asking dentists and their teams to volunteer to just see one of the many patients in need. You can literally change a life. When you volunteer with DLN's Donated Dental Services Program to C1, you treat a pre-qualified patient in your office at your convenience. We handle the details so you can focus on the care. Lack of dental care can lead to the inability to have life-saving surgery, eat, or contribute to our community. If you are a dentist or know a dentist, please share this message. Will you see one? Visit willyouseeone.org to help change one life in your community today.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Side, talking to Ria in Japan. 844-236-6010 is our number. Ria, you there? Ria.
Yes, I'm here.
So your point's well taken. Not all probiotics are going to survive stomach acid, but they have some will. Lactobacillus specifically is called Lactobacillus acidophilus. It's used to living in acid, so they'll bypass stomach acid, and they can also coat the probiotic. They'll use various substances to coat it so that it will bypass stomach acid and go into the intestine. But your point is well taken. It's really hard to know whether a probiotic is active, how you store a probiotic. All the brands are different. It's really very difficult to know. The only real true test of whether a probiotic is effective or potent is how it's working for you, and go by gas, bloating, digestive discomfort, and most especially bowel movements. A large, maybe 50% of your stool or so is made up of these bacteria. So that's the quickest way to tell, or the most immediate way to tell whether you're getting benefits from a probiotic. It should only take a few days before you start to notice that you're going to the bathroom more regularly and you have better bowel movements. That's the best way to tell, in my opinion. And also gas and bloating if you have small SIBO. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay.
Does that help?
Can we have like yogurt instead of probiotics?
No, yogurt contains some, but a good probiotic supplement is going to get you way more bacteria than you'll get from yogurt. And when you do yogurt, you got to make sure you're doing yogurt that contains live cultures. If you're doing yogurt that has a lot of sugar in it, then you got the downside of the sugar. Yogurt's not a great, and then you also have to deal with dairy, so not everybody can handle dairy. Although some people can do yogurt, but they can't do milk. But typically, or it can happen that dairy is a problem for folks when they do yogurt. Not a great source. The best food source of bacteria is going to be fermented vegetables, fermented beets, fermented carrots, fermented cabbage, kimchi, sauerkraut. That is the best source, because then you're getting not only the bacteria, but you're also getting the fiber that supports the bacteria. Remember, fiber functions as a prebiotic to support the bacteria. So just taking a probiotic supplement, you got to make sure that you're getting enough fiber to support the bacteria. Just because you take the bacteria doesn't mean the bacteria are going to implant and proliferate, and that's where fiber comes in. Prebiotics to support probiotics. All right, Ria, anything else, my dear?
Okay. No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, have a great day. Good to talk to you. All right, Barry in New Orleans, what's going on, my friend?
Yes, I'd like to
What, because I've been looking at Dr. Otto's Warburg Award recently once more. What would you say is the significance of this work from,
Dr. Otto Warburg is a Nobel Prize-winning biochemist who was the first guy to talk about the oxygen theory of cancer. He noticed that when normal cells are robbed of oxygen, they become cancerous, and he was the first guy to describe oxygen and energy as being the major feature, or oxygen metabolism and energy shortages being the major feature of cancer cells. And indeed, if you take oxygen out of the cellular environment, that cell will start to divide rapidly like a bacterial cell, like an anaerobic bacteria, like a bacteria that does not utilize oxygen. So I can't see how you could dispute his theory personally, and that makes oxygen and respiration and energy the key element when it comes to whether a cell is going to be healthy or whether it's going to be cancerous. Now, cancer cells are dividing very rapidly, and they're utilizing sugar as a source of energy rather than oxygen. They have an inability to utilize oxygen, so they use sugar. And burning sugar is a much less efficient form of energy production than working with oxygen. This makes cancer cells very inefficient. And that's why they have to divide so rapidly. And that's why they burn through sugar so rapidly. That's why they don't form tissues and organs like ordinary cells do. They form tumors. It's because they're just inefficient. They don't have an ability to utilize oxygen, which is a much more energy-dense source of resources than sugar is. Now, when the cell can use oxygen, that's an advance. An advanced cell uses oxygen, and that's what makes an advanced cell an advanced cell. It can utilize oxygen, and it can get much more ATP, or energy currency, than a sugar-burning cell can. So cancer cells burn sugar. They're robbed of oxygen. Basically, I think of them as under duress. Why? Because what is it that robs a cell of oxygen? Inflammation. Long-term inflammation, and long-term inflammation is the precursor to biological cancers. I'm not talking about cancer in a petri dish. I'm talking about in a biological system. Long-term inflammation is a precursor to cancer. Now, I suppose you could say you have cancer for like ionizing radiation if you were to get shot with, if you were to be near some kind of nuclear disaster. You can get cancer that way. There may be cancer that's associated with EMFs. But for the most part, most of our cancers are the end result of long-term inflammation resulting in long-term oxygen deprivation, which is to say that cancer is the end result of a long-term degenerative process that occurs over the course of years and decades. It doesn't just happen. Which is great news, really, because it means that we have a lot of control here. And that's the bottom line of this program, and the bottom line to everything I've been talking about is instead of medicalizing our health challenges, what we want to do is we want to recognize our lifestyle choices that are behind the development of these disease states and which could easily be behind recovery or reversal from disease states as well. And cancer is a classic example of it. And as horrifying as it is, the most horrific diagnosis you could have, it doesn't mean that we don't have a certain amount of control over it. And we want not blame the victim here, but just recognize that we have power over how our body shows up for better or worse. Thanks, Bear. Appreciate your call. Let's go to Carolyn in Washington. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome to The Bright Side.
Hi, thank you. My son, who's in his early 50s, rushed to the ER about 2 weeks ago. They gave him all kinds of tests, and $13,000 later, they decided that he had a peptic ulcer, and I told him to take cabbage juice, raw cabbage juice for that. Okay. And then he says whenever he eats fats, that he can't digest them and it hurts. And from listening to you, I said that's your gallbladder and you need more bile. And he's been taken off of all fats, all spicy foods, most foods, but they did allow him dried fruit. And what do you have to say?
Dried fruit's a disaster. I can't even believe they would say that. Avoid the dry fruit. That's an awful food for the intestine. Dried fruit's one of there's some nutritional value certainly to dried fruit, but all in all, it's just a horrible thing for the intestine, for bacteria. And the bacteria in the intestine just love dried fruit. So I can't imagine why they would say that. The fat, it could be the pancreas or it could be the gallbladder. He may want to consider sodium bicarbonate, like after an hour after meals or half an hour after meals kind of thing. Bile salts, yes. What's that?
Baking soda.
Baking soda, correct. Also bile salts, lecithin, digestive enzymes, apple cider vinegar, small amounts of food. If he's not going to take any fats, he should absolutely be using an essential fatty acid capsule or supplement, as well as fatty vitamins. I mean, without fats, he's going to be, number one, not getting his fatty vitamins and essential fatty acids, and number two, he's going to have a problem absorbing them from foods. So he's going to run serious issues with deficiencies in his building and growth and repair nutrients. So rather than completely avoiding fat, I would be doing small amounts of fat and definitely supplementing with his EFAs and fatty vitamins. And then also anything you do to support fat absorption. And don't forget probiotics either. Good bacteria can also play a role in fat absorption. In fact, they play a major role in fat absorption, as is fiber, both as a prebiotic and also to support the absorption of fat by helping the intestine clear bile. So I would guess that the problem is in the gallbladder and the pancreas, although the liver could be involved. Does he have a history of medication or illnesses in any other way?
Always feeling bad, always stomach hurt, not taking much meds or vitamins.
Well, I would guess for sure he's got an intestinal problem as well as a likely gallbladder and pancreas issue. Got to work on the foods and got to work on digestion. And don't forget the importance, I said it before, but I'll say it again, don't underestimate the importance of good bacteria in the intestine for helping the body process fats. And remember, fats are part of the building and growth and repair process. So it's kind of a vicious circle. He's not going to be repairing the intestine without the fats, and the damaged intestine is going to cause him to not absorb his fats. So digestive distress will cause fat malabsorption. Fat malabsorption will cause more digestive distress, more fat malabsorption, more digestive distress, and on and on and on. So he really has to cut to the chase here. Intestinal health with probiotics and fiber, gallbladder health with anything you do to help support the bile system, liver health as well. And liver disease is very common. It's likely he's got a liver issue going on there too. And don't forget about the good old pancreas. I call it Mr. Cellophane because we never talk about the pancreas. And I do have I've been planning on talking about sodium bicarbonate for a while. I haven't had a chance to, but I will. I will in the coming Bright Side coming days on the Bright Side.
What do you think of the cabbage juice?
It's great. Cabbage juice is awesome. Vitamin U. They say cabbage juice. They used to say cabbage juice contains vitamin U for vitamin ulcer. Awesome stuff, as is sauerkraut. So cabbage juice, cabbage soup, and sauerkraut. Thanks, Carolyn, and thank you to all of my Bright Side listeners. Sorry if we left you on hold. Call back on our next Bright Side episode. We'll get you first up. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.